This is A Game. Fast acting, long lasting, with no side effects.
Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there, my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel. I am your host, femininity coach, and author of the Crimson Cure, and this is my perspective. So we talking about why Black women's relationships are always doomed to fail. And so I got two real quick videos to show you. They're really quick, and so let me just go ahead and get right to them. I'm going to show them back to back, and then I'm going to be back with my perspective. All right, so here we go.
And data show that most men on the site OkCupid did a review of who were the least swiped upon amongst the different genders, and data showed that most men on the site rated Black women as less attractive than women of other races and ethnicities. Of course, on the flip side of the coin, it's Asian men who were rated less attractive than other races and ethnicities in the male category. In addition, according to the 2018 Motherly State of Motherhood survey, Black mothers are 4 times more likely to be single and serve as the primary breadwinners of their home. So in short, what is it like to date as a Black woman?
For me, it's more on the difficult side because I feel like I do get a lot of matches, but then it's just like it never like propels to the next step. And it's just difficult to get those dates in general. And so that's like definitely been my area of struggle here, at least in the Los Angeles area. Because I can't get a first date, let alone the second one, and that is extremely frustrating.
OkCupid
went out earlier, and it was a Black lady who's duetting this video.
How important is money to you in a relationship?
A video went out earlier, and it was a Black lady who's duetting this video, and she says, "Does anybody notice what I noticed?" The answer is yes, I do. I would have loved to stitch it, but I was unable to, so I couldn't. What she was hinting at was that all the Black women in this video felt that money didn't matter. But every other woman in other races understood that how important money was. And of course, it's a definite must. Why is that? Because a lot of Black women are being raised as men. Most of us don't even know what it feels like to be a woman in a relationship, in life, period. We've had to protect, provide, and prove ourselves constantly. And when you're young, you think that is what makes you a valuable woman. A strong woman, a good woman, that you'll find your happily ever after as long as you're able to show your value, your worth. Instead, it sets us up for hard relationships that are doomed to fail.
How important is money?
So I wanted to show you those two videos back to back because I wanted to sort of talk about today that doomed to fail situation. In the first video, they were talking about the OkCupid poll results that happened a couple of years ago, and was saying how Asian men were the least attractive or the least swiped on, but Black women for the female side were found to be the least attractive and the least swiped upon. And when that lady was talking about not being able to get the first date and that being frustrating and all of those sorts of things, she was explaining her situation, but I still didn't hear any accountability as to, well, why are we struggling in a dating market like this? Like, why are we having this type of trouble? I can't. And she said it. She said, I seem to get matches, but it never goes to the next step. Why doesn't it go to the next step? Because the match, when you're on those little sites, it's just pictures. So it's whoever strike your fancy. So if she's saying she's getting matches, that means that there are men who thinks initially that she's attractive enough to at least swipe left, right, whatever. I don't know which one is acceptance, but whatever. She's at least good enough to be accepted initially. So at what point is this falling apart? When they contact you, when they try to talk to you, are they seeing things within your conversation, within your demeanor, within your whatever that's making them say, no, she was already just okay, or she was already just kind of cute. So I can't deal with, she got to come with something else for me to really deal with her further. And then we don't talk about whether or not there's catfishing going on these sites. But in any case, I'm not accusing her of catfishing, but I'm just saying. So in the second video, the lady talked about the presence of the masculinity. And she talked about, the first thing that she said was Black women didn't understand, the importance of money in a relationship. I find that to kind of be cap. I didn't see, because she wasn't able to show the video that she was referring to. But if I'm to go by what a lot of Black women are saying on social media, then money play a big role for Black women in what they want to do, or at least what they say they want, rather than what they actually do, which we know that there is a disparity between what Black women say they want and what they actually will do. But she made another point that I want to expound upon. The perceived value of, okay, let me try to be masculine and that be my value in a relationship. And she was saying it. She was like, we don't know how to be women in relationships or even in life. And this is what I've been trying to drive home. Black women do not understand femininity. We don't understand it. We don't know what it is. We're taught against it because it's like the fear of the unknown. We're taught something about something that we don't know, and it scares us, so we never go towards it, and we don't like it. For example, we're taught here in America as Black people that Africa is still, as a continent with all of them countries in it, is still a jungle. It's still uncivilized. It doesn't have modern day cities and metropolitan areas and internet and cars and shopping areas and all of this type of stuff that we're accustomed to in America. We still think that because of why? The portrayals on television when we were little always portray Africans as, with a basket on their head, walking down a dirt road 5 miles to go get some water out of a well. This is what they show us. And so Black people who have never traveled and who have never actually gone to Africa to visit whichever country, whichever part of Africa you wanted to visit, and see, they do have metropolitan areas. Do they have rural areas? Yeah, but they also have a city with city stuff going on. Like, it's not this deserted place where people are still running around with bones in their noses. But because we don't get taught that, we get scared. Well, I don't want to move. I don't want to go. Over there, they ain't got this and they ain't got that. When you don't know what they have, because you're relying on the word of somebody else telling you this thing is bad and you don't want to deal with it, so don't even deal with it. That's how Black women get taught femininity. That thing is bad, so you don't want to even approach it. You don't even want to deal with that. Femininity means what? It means weakness. It means stupidity. It means to be a pick-me. It means to be pandering to Black men. It means to be Black male identified. It means to be not in your strength, which you're really not supposed to be in your strength as a woman. You're supposed to be in your power. And the only value that we have as women is to start providing the 4 P's. We're taught as little girls, and she mentioned it. She said when we're young, we've protected and provided and all of this type of stuff. Provision and protection are 2 of the 4 P's, right? And she's not lying. We are taught that. But who teaches us that? Who's giving us that instruction? Usually our mothers are giving us that instruction, and then we're picking up cues from society that Black women are supposed to fulfill that role. We pick up the cues culturally. We pick up the cues from movies and music. This is why it was important when I was pointing out the tweet from the white girl about about us not needing to, or that movie King Richard about, it's a bad thing that they were honoring their father rather than making just a movie about them. So you can't honor where you come from or who helped you. She wanted that division. These are the social cues. These are the cultural cues that we get that keep us in the mind state of the doomed relationship. This is why our relationships don't work. Because we're taught, we give the 4 Ps, which is biologically wrong. And when we start giving the 4 Ps and not receiving them, this is where the failures of the relationship come along. Because we want men that are going to give them, but we don't have trust. We don't trust our men to do a couple of things because we actually secretly despise the masculine role. Black women despise that role secretly. Now they'll come and say they happily single and happily, doing a strong independent thing. But the reality is that is not true, because if that were true, it wouldn't be popular for Black women to be calling up trying to get a man that's going to pay significant bills for them so that they can do what? Take a feminine role in the relationship. You see what I'm saying? They don't want to have to get out into the workspace and take the masculine role in any capacity. They don't want to have to do that. This is why we get Black women we despise it so much that we confuse the masculine and feminine roles. We think that if there's work to be done in a relationship, that's masculine. So we want to get into relationships where we don't have to do no work. And when I say work, I don't just mean a 9-to-5 job. I mean work on the relationship, do any type of effort. We feel like if we're making effort in a relationship, then we're pulling the masculine weight. And that's not even true. So we have this distorted view of what the roles are. See, we're not supposed to be giving the 4 Ps. The opposite of that, what women are supposed to be doing is this. See, and when I say this, I don't mean women vet for this. I mean, we're supposed to be passing this vetting process at any point in their relationship, not just the beginning. So if he's giving us these, then we should always be able to pass these. That's the reciprocity for 4 Ps. Because the 4 Ps are tied to procreation, is tied to time. Provision is tied to toll. Problem solving is tied to trouble. And protection is tied to threat. So we're supposed to be able to pass all 4 of these areas all the time for the duration of the relationship. And it's because we can't do that where the relationships actually fail. Because we can't give when we're not trying to so-called give the 4 Ps, we have no idea how to receive them. And that's the real failure, because then we don't trust our men to actually give us the 4 Ps, because that would call for us to be vulnerable enough to receive that from them. And we don't like vulnerability. We don't trust them that they are able to do the masculine role of the relationship, which is to give the 4 Ps. So then we try to take control of that and give the 4 Ps, but we also get mad when we can't receive them. And that issue is something that Black women have blamed Black men for, when really they should blame their mama. And this should be the catalyst for trying to change how we think about things, which is the biological component, and then change the cultural component by not accepting those cultural cues and not taking that on for ourselves and saying, this is what we got to do. This is the right way. This is what Black women have to be, because we don't. And it makes us fall behind while other women and their men move ahead. This is why we keep falling further and further back. We don't understand femininity and we're afraid to embrace it because then we think it's all these other factors. We don't want other Black women to think that we're weak and all of this other type of foolishness that actually doesn't help us. It just keeps us mired in that same little pit. We're crabs in a barrel, not realizing that crabs don't even belong in a barrel. You understand what I'm saying? Barrels are not the natural habitat of any crab. That's the first part. We think we're supposed to be in the barrel, and then that the negative behavior is that the crabs are trying to pull another crab down. Okay, yeah, but nobody, not one of the crabs is asking, why are we in the bottom of a barrel? Sound off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.
Hey guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.